Hey, Tony Gaskins here, and I'm popping in another episode of Talks with Tony. Now, remember to send your question in. For one, you need a good amount of details so that I can try to best assess the situation, and that's without being able to ask you any questions. So, we need to do that. And two, the email address is inbox at tonygaskins.com. Inbox at tonygaskins. That's INBOX at tonygaskins.com to send your question in. And I'm going in order as they are received. Now, sometimes people send in questions and it's not that good of a question. So you have to forgive me if I read one. I don't read it before we do it. I kind of try to skim it sometimes. I just go on to the next one. And so some videos it could be a little bit of a mashup of stuff because something wasn't that good of a question, but I try to treat everybody question the same and equal because everybody matters. So as we jumping on in here, hello, Mr. Gaskins. My name is, and I keep y'all, even though you put your name in there, I keep you anonymous. It looks like a woman's name. I am 33 years old, 5'7", and weigh 120 pounds. I live in the Netherlands, so please forgive me if my English is not that good. I hope this email reaches you, and thank you for reading it. I've watched your videos but could not find one that pertains to my situation. I met a man in 2016. Now, she sent this in 2025 now. I met a man in 2016 at my workplace. He was transferred there and he worked as a manager. The name of this man is such and such. At the time, I was an entry employee. Now, at this time in my life, I was not really interested in a relationship with anyone. I had just gotten out of a marriage. Now, this man would always say good morning to me and give me extra attention. My mother told me at the time that he was interested in me because I told her about him. He bought me gifts 2 times, and I remember buying him something. I remember he and I went on 3 dates in total. He told me that he did not want to get married. I remember telling him that we need to go our separate ways because I am dating with the intentions of marriage. He respected that, and it seemed to me that we went our separate ways. I would still see him at work, though. This did not bother me because in my mind, I was going to keep everything professional, and I did. I thought we had a mutual understanding and that we are just not for one another and that we still can be amazing colleagues. 8 months later, after we went our separate ways, his girlfriend transfers there. At first, I did not think anything of it because I am not seeing this person, and that is the honest truth. The girlfriend started to attack me, acting jealous towards me, and tried to convince everybody else to join in on her parade. At first, I was taken back about this because he and I went our separate ways after the date. In all of the years, he never brought anyone to an office party, and when I checked his Facebook, he had no picture of a woman on there. No one at the office knew he had a girlfriend until she appeared and said she was his girlfriend. If I knew he had someone, I would have never went out with him. Mind you, while I was being attacked by the girlfriend and everyone else, I did not say a word to him. I tried to keep it professional, never got out of character, and I did not mistreat the girlfriend. The girlfriend ended up leaving, and I was left with all of the hate of the other coworkers. She went to my colleagues and said some stuff about me. Everyone at my job turned their back on me, and now I am treated like the home wrecker. I am treated this way because he left his girlfriend. What did Rick try to accomplish? Did he try to get me to compete with the woman? Did he just want to ruin my reputation? Did he take offense to me not wanting to date a man who does not want marriage? I just don't understand what I did wrong to deserve this. Hope you can help me. Every day I go to work, I get more and more upset about this. He just wronged me in the worst way. He tried to break me, and now I no longer trust anyone. He sent me a text asking how I was holding up at the job, just to see how broken I am. I will never give him the satisfaction of thinking that what he did affected me. Now, a few weeks ago, he texted that he wanted to go on a vacation with me. Never even apologized to me. We never slept together, and I thank God for that. Could you please not say our names? Thank you in advance. Now, I don't know if I slipped up and said anybody's name. Now that she just said that, it's like, ma'am, why you put your name in there if you don't want me to say your name? It's like when you write in, it don't matter to me what your name is, so you don't have to put your name in there. But you got to realize I am reading, and just the way the mind work, I could just be reading and be done said your name without even realizing I said your name. Now, so don't y'all write in now with all that right there. You got the onus is on you to write in the right way. And thank you for giving us a visual of you. 33 years old, 5'7" and weigh 120 pounds. Now 120 is very slim for 5'7". Now you in the Netherlands, so I don't know if that's 5'7" or if that's something else. If you converted that the right way, but 120, that's real slim. Don't mean that you can't have it where you need to have it at, but that is slim. And here, what you have is just a classic case of a man. Her question was in the title, is he insecure? And that's what you have, a classic case of an insecure man. He saw you, felt like you was cute, and you look like how he like him to look, and you were an entry-level employee. He transfers in as a manager, so he's used to using a power dynamic to sleep with women. He also knows that he has safety in women not talking and telling anything because they could get in trouble too. He also knows that women don't want to be seen as loose or sleeping their way to the top. So therefore, he knows most women won't tell anything because they don't want people to know their business. And so that's something to think about. And what happened is you stood your ground, and it sounds like you have confidence and you know who you are. And the fact that you've already been married, it lets me know that you have that it factor that men look for in a woman, because you've already been down the aisle, and then here comes this guy. He want to deal with you, want a little piece of you. And when you stood on business and you say, hey, we should go our separate ways, that hurt him. That really was like right there to his ego. This is ego, just like that. He was hurt by that. Now, he could have already had the girlfriend. He could have got her later, could have become a girlfriend later. And then here again, what he did was he used his power as a manager to put his girlfriend on. So he either she was already working somewhere with y'all and he made her his girlfriend and then got her transferred in, or he just got her the job all outright. She come in and she wants people to know that she's somebody to the big wig manager. So she telling about that's her boyfriend when she didn't even have to do that. She could just came in and been quiet and nobody would have knew the difference and could have just kept it under wraps. But obviously this guy must either make good money or look good or be desired by women. I mean, you talked to him, you went on a date with him, so he must not be unattractive. And then for her to come in bragging about him, then that let me know that she proud of him. And he told her that you like him and you after him and you want him. That's what he told her. And he told her that y'all used to have a little thing, that y'all talked a little bit, y'all dated a little bit, went on a few dates. That's what he told her. Now, he drummed it up for her to get nasty, because I could tell my wife that if she's my girlfriend, I could tell her I dated that girl right there. she's not gonna go around and start stirring stuff up and making the other coworkers hate her and all of that. She just gonna keep her distance. So he put a little sauce on it and he drummed it up. And yeah, she could be messy herself too. And so also you have to take into consideration a lot of this is in your mind. Whatever you think is true. So if you think people are looking at you funny, then they looking at you funny. If you think somebody got something against you, then they got something against you. Whatever you think is true. To be honest with you, your coworkers don't really care about her. She came in, she knew it's everybody for themselves. Your coworkers don't care about her. Your coworkers also don't think you know homework record. And they don't care about you wrecking nobody home. Everybody got their own problems. They're not finna team up with this woman who come in out of nowhere. Now she already gone. Ain't nobody holding no grudges against you. That's all in your mind. So you need to walk around with a smile. You need to speak to people. If you want your work situation to be better, you need to speak to people. You need to, hey, how are you? How you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Yeah, hey, want to come to lunch today? You want to lunch? All right, yeah. And just strike up conversation, act like ain't nothing happened. Because the more you beat yourself up, the more you tell yourself about this, the more you ponder on this, the more you think on this, the worse it's gonna be. And he still wants you. He miss you. He mad that you didn't want him, that you want something he don't want, which is marriage. And he feel like that if he keeps trying, you're gonna break. So because he told her whatever he told her and he drummed up whatever, and let's say that what you thinking, what I'm saying is in your head is the truth, and your job just truly care, and they truly are mistreating you, then you need to treat him like Casper the ghost. Don't look at him, don't speak to him, and that still could be professional. Only deal with him and talk to him when you absolutely have to for work, but don't give him the pleasure of being able to run in and out your life. You shouldn't even be entertaining him about going on a vacation and all that. He really shouldn't even be able to reach you unless he could get you fired. But you could track that stuff too. Everything, every text, just in case you got to go to your settings and check and make sure that you're in your messages that they don't delete after a certain amount of time. You could set it to where they stay forever, or you could set it to where they delete every 7 days, every 30 days, every 365 days. But you want to keep that just in case him being the manager, if he have a position where he can get you fired, then you want to be able to show that he was pursuing you. And you want to have them screenshots and have the text thread of him writing you and you not writing him back. So let him write you. Don't write him back. And if you need to answer what he wrote you, walk up to him in person and say, hey, got your message, was tied up, but the answer is this right here. And then you also could write him, so it's in writing. Remember, everything that's in writing could be read. So you also could write him and say, hey, I don't think that it's appropriate for us to be fraternizing at the job, and that was a mistake on both our part, but we got through it, we made it through, and so let's not revisit that again. We want different things, so it's a waste of time for us to entertain this when there could be somebody on the job or out in the free world outside of the job that wants exactly what you want. And I don't want to mess my name up and people at the job thinking that we're sleeping together, we're doing something, because we both know that's not the case. You can put that in writing to him and let him know that, so that now he just gonna pack his stuff and go on about his business. He's gonna be butthurt. He may keep trying you every 3 months, every 6 months, every so often. He may try you. He's gonna be butthurt, but you just got to go on about your business. So just go on about your business. Move on with your life. Make it a habit, and now you know, don't date anybody at the job unless they just absolutely all the way walking through your dreams and look like that and just amazing person, and you really feel like this the person for you and you ready to risk it all. Otherwise, you'll keep going through the same type of little petty drama and childishness at the job. So understand that right there. That one, is not too deep. Yes, he is insecure, to answer your question. Yes, he does want to sleep with you. Yes, he does. He did lie to the woman and tell her some stuff. And y'all understand too, I forget some of this stuff. I miss certain parts of it on here while I'm doing it. So people in the comments, armchair coach, armchair quarterback, able to kind of pick up some stuff that I overlooked or I forgot. So understand that I would treat him like the plague. Move on with your life. And we're going to go ahead and keep going because that was only took 15 minutes. And I don't want to just be talking in circles. So we'll answer some more. And remember, send your question in the inbox at TonyGaskins.com. Inbox at TonyGaskins.com. Now, let me see if this is even a real question here. Okay. Let me see. I was trying to get my coffee together now. Y'all giving it a little yawn. I have a question. I've been friends with benefits, plus we friends with benefits, but have an emotional bond. We've shared intimate details about ourselves with each other and our lives, but we are not in a relationship, and we see each other very sporadically because of my complex ways. She always wants to see and be around me and appears to be genuinely in love. She wants me to visit her house and spend the night. I have reservations because she was with an abusive baby daddy. He has long since left the home, but he did break in February of 2024 because he wanted to see his son, 22 years old, with mental health illness that lives with her. If she chooses to walk away from me, I am 199%, but maybe he meant 100%, but I will not do something I'm uncomfortable with. I've explained this to her, but she assures me that he will not come around, but neither her nor I can say that. He is an uncontrollable element. He hasn't been there in a year, but at any moment he may choose to show up. She has constantly been asking me, and I told her I feel pressured and I will not do anything I'm not comfortable with, and she is free to do what she wants with that, aka leave or stay and be quiet about it. If I go, it'll be because I'm comfortable and I understand the potential risk. Her baby daddy popping up. I don't think it's like he will, though, but still. What should I do? Am I being unreasonable? You're not being unreasonable, and you are being wise in not wanting to go over there and stay the night. A lot of men do lose their life like that, but what you are being is selfish and misleading and a user, and you're setting yourself up for failure. You are bringing about a harvest that you don't want, because the way you treating her, eventually a woman gonna treat you like that. And what you got to realize is, if this is not a woman you want to be with, a woman you want to be all the way in a relationship with and fall in love with and love and get married to, then you should never be friends with benefits, because as you have stated, you could lose your life. Like in relationships and all the different situationships and all of that stuff could happen. You could lose your life. So you have to realize and understand that what you're doing is very, very dangerous, to be sleeping with a woman and dealing with this woman, and you got her heart strings, wrapped up. And then here she is, she got a 22-year-old son who has mental health illness. So he's going to be living with her probably forever. So that's a lot on her. That's a lot of stress. That's draining. That's heartbreaking. It's hard. So she wants love, she wants companionship, she wants an outlet, and that's why she wants you. So here it is. She wants you and she wants to be with you. She wants you to come over. She wants you to stay the night. She wants y'all to build. Now, yes, it is a small, most likely he won't come over there. It's been a year. He could pop up, but okay, if he pop up, for one, you should, if you go over there and you say, hey, let's make this work, let's try to make something happen, let's be together. For one, you should have a gun on you. Two, you could call the police before, as he start the break in, and you could yell and let them know, hey, I got a gun. You come any further, I'm gonna have to put you down. And so just thinking about that though, it's like that could happen. If it just and so what you could do is tell her, like, hey, if that's why he broke in and we're gonna be together, and boom, we together, then we need to take, and you need to make sure he's seeing his son as often as he want to see his son. Now, what this right here tells me is that if she chooses to walk away from me, I am 100%. But I will not do something I'm uncomfortable with. So you don't love her. You don't even really like her. You have an emotional bond with her, and you share intimate details about yourself with her because you need therapy. That's all that means. But with the other stuff that you said, it lets me know, because you said she has constantly been asking me, and I told her I feel pressured and I will not do anything I am not comfortable with. And she is free to do what she wants with that, AKA leave or stay and be quiet about it. Now, ladies, take a lesson from this here gentleman and what he is saying. This is how men are. This is what men be trying to tell you. Here come Miss Thirst-a-Lot, who need to take a cold dip in some Gatorade, begging this man who does not like her. He gonna say he like her, but he don't really like her, to come over and stay the night with her. Put some meat leg on her. Be in a situationship with her. Sleeping with her with no title. Not her boyfriend, not her fiance, definitely not her husband, nowhere near it. She got a 22-year-old special needs that she need to be worried about. Focus on her 22-year-old special needs son. That's what she need to be focused at. She focused on this man that don't want her. And she begging him to come over, but he don't like her so much to the point that he like, I'm not finna come over here. You come over here, you come over to my house and get plucked off. Come over to my house and get spread eagle. Then take your behind back home to your son that you got to take care of. And if you want to cut me off and you want to leave, good riddance. Bye. I'll see you later. I might miss you, but you could go. I'm uncomfortable coming over to your house when you got a crazy baby daddy who done already broke in. So the son 22 years old. Baby daddy just wanted something to break in for. So that lets me know you will lose your life, because ain't no grown man finna break in the house to see another grown man, his son, that have been 21 years old, special needs. Men don't love like that. And if he loved like that, he could go to court. If he loved like that, he could go to court. He could sit outside till when they walking outside, walk up. But he literally went to get a charge of breaking and entering. And it also lets you know he unhinged and he crazy, because she could have had a man sleeping with her that night. And her baby daddy could have lost his life. And a lot of men have lost their life like that. So that lets you know he is uncontrollable. He is slap crazy, and he will kill or be killed. He wants to kill or be killed. So you're not, men knowing men, you're not misjudging that situation. You would be taking a risk. and you don't know how often he watch. You don't know if he swang by there to see if it's a other car there, or if it's certain lights on, or to see what he could see. You don't know if when he broke in, if he put him a bug in there, something that could listen and hear. You don't know that. You don't know if her car got a tracker on it, got the little Apple tracker on it. You don't know that. So what you need to do is, this is a grown woman. It's gonna hurt her, but you need to let this woman go. You need to let this woman go. Since you don't love her, you don't want to be with her, you scared to risk your life for her. Because if you love her, you'll risk your life for her. You're going over there and you'll risk your life. You don't love her. So let her go. Let her go. Let her grow. Let her heal. And since you'll be 100% fine if she was to leave, and since she free to do what she want with what you telling her, then why not you be man enough to let her go? Am I being unreasonable? You being unreasonable by dragging her along, you stringing her along, because you also could get her killed. And you got to think about that. You could get her killed, because what if you dealing with her baby daddy go to watching her move, see her coming over to you. He get mad and say, oh, you with another man, you letting another man see my son. You letting another man come around my son. And he just go off and it get irate, and that thing, boom. Just spur of the moment, he take her life, and it's because of you. Because you fooling around, because you dealing around, you dragging her along, and God is not pleased. If the Lord come back right now, you're going to bust hell wide open. And you drumming up what some people of another religion call karma. Now, I don't believe in karma, but I believe in the Holy Bible. You reap what you sow. So, and trust me, what you putting her through and what she dealing with, if she turn around and she put you through that, then you could really be hurt. You really gonna be hurt. Like, if another woman that you love, that you genuinely love, that you falling in love with, that you friends with benefits with, you want more, you begging her to come over, you begging her to hang out, and she keep telling you, no, I ain't coming. No, I ain't coming because I got another guy I'm dealing with. I'm still dealing with this other guy. He kind of crazy. And your heart is wrapped up. You all the way in it. Like, you ready to live for her, die for her, kill for her. You want it all. You really, really want her. It's like, nah, I can't do it, playboy. I ain't gonna be able to make it happen. And you like, why not? I love you. That's exactly what's gonna happen to you if it ain't already done happened to you. And if it already done happened to you, then you have to look at this and you got to realize, oh, I'm operating like this because I'm moving like this right here because I'm hurt. I'm jaded. I done went through this, went through that. You got to look at what you feeling and really identify, why is you doing this to this lady? Why are you doing this? Why are you dragging her along? Why are you pulling her along like this and got her falling for you? Got her worried about you, loving you, going crazy for you, while you just living and doing your thing. So I want you to think about this now. Think about this. Be a man about this, and be ready and willing to move on with your life and do the right thing. Do the right thing and let this lady live her life and have because she can attract somebody else who willing to be all in with her. Now, yes, she's gonna hurt. Yes, she gonna want to stay there. Yes, she gonna want to follow you. Yes, she gonna want to do things on your term, come over to you and all of this and that. Yes, she gonna want to do all that. But if you know you don't like the lady like that, be a real man and move on with your life and let her go on about her business. Now we're gonna keep going a little bit here. We got a couple more. So we might be able to do 4 of these 15 minutes each, unless one of them take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or whatever. And we'll go from there. So y'all just make sure you watch all the talks with Tony and watch the whole thing, regardless of the title. Because now, as you see, the title might be on just one part and we cover other things in there. So understand that. And God bless you. Shout out to you now. Links in the description. Tony Gasson's Academy, the Family Foundation. Thank you so much for your donations and helping us with our programs. We steady building. We getting our next other office space set up over here. My wife's office, but both of these are foundation offices as well. So it's all whole headquarters where we're going to be doing our trainings and things of that nature. We also a part of the foundation. We got the men's group. So the men's group is launching in March, where we have dinner and just fellowship as men and share lessons and talk, motivate each other, inspire each other in our marriages, hold one another accountable. And then we're gonna have the women's ministry as well, where they'll come together, hold each other accountable, inspire, uplift, encourage, and all of those things. So thank y'all so much. And then the youth, we still cranking that up, getting all that together, getting signed up in their league. So thank you very much for that. Now, next question from someone is on purpose. Hey, Tony, so I wanted to ask you, how do you figure out what your purpose is other than things you might be good at? Because honestly, I'm not good at anything that you could turn into a job or a business. I'm a single mother and don't have any degrees other than a diploma I received for physical therapy tech, which I'm not even interested in. I just did it because they didn't have what I really wanted to do at the time. But that was 2016. I was in my 20s. I don't waste time on school because I'm not that good at it anyway. I just want to do something that I would actually enjoy waking up to do each day that'll make me some money. And I don't know what that is. Well, sister, woo! Now this is a argument right here for a woman being taken care of, right here. And I'll be honest with you, she said the quiet part out loud, but this honestly the undertone that I be getting from a lot of women. That just go to show you we meant to be together. Male and female meant to be together with the man as the hustler, the grinder, the provider, and the woman living the soft life, kicking her feet up, finding her purpose, doing what she want to do, when she want to do it, how she want to do it. I honestly do not think women are intended to work. I think you have to work, but I don't think that was God's intention. Because if it was God's intention, why would he give you a period where you bleed 7 days a month? Why would he have you become big as a house carrying another human being or multiple human beings in you for 9 months, where it's visible for 9 months, if you was intended to work? I don't believe women were intended to work, but society has forced women to work and made women work because they don't want to pay men enough money to take care of the family. Or the greed done pushed us into where women got to work, and then men don't want to be men and man up and take care of a woman, be there for a woman, love a woman, marry a woman. You got so many men want to be single bachelors and players like our podcasters. So that forces women to have to work in order to eat and to have a roof over her head. I recommend if you're a woman and you don't have a husband who is a provider, or you don't have a husband, even if you do have a husband, but his income don't cover everything. If you a woman outside of that, live with your mom. Live with your mom or your sister or your homegirl. Hey, I was about to say girlfriend. I don't want to get at the wrong connotation where you think I'm saying go get a girlfriend. With your homegirl, and y'all help each other. Like y'all split stuff down the middle. And y'all help each other because it's hard out here. And what you have to understand about what you're talking about here is everybody has a purpose. And purpose is service, essentially. Purpose is just serving. So you could serve at a soup kitchen. You could go work at a nonprofit at a group home, serving the least likely, serving the overlooked, the mistreated, the alienated, the ostracized, the marginalized. And you can go serve right at a group home, at a women's shelter, at a girls group home, girls shelter. That's purpose. And you get paid for that. It might not be something that you necessarily love, but you can grow to love it by saying, I'm living my purpose and I'm loving people who are mistreated and overlooked and for oftentimes forgotten about. I'm loving on these people. And so that right there is purpose. Now, you are gifted. You just have to sit down and talk about it. So what you are overlooking is cleaning is a gift. Cooking is a gift. Organizing is a gift. Talking is a gift. Serving, like doing stuff for other people, helping other people, that's a gift. Walking is a gift. Drawing. Everything is a gift. Like looking, staring at stuff, that's a gift. Like it's jobs that you get paid to do reviews. You get paid to be a secret shopper. You get paid to read stuff, leave reviews. You get paid. Like any and everything today is a job. So you got to realize that what you overlooking, that you good at, you're saying you're not good at it and that it can't become a business just because you don't have that business knowledge yet. And you're saying you're not good at it because you don't realize how good you are at it because it comes to you so easily. So that's what you have to realize and understand, that you are gifted at something. You just are not understanding what you are gifted at. So what you need is figure out a way, get on TonyGassinsAcademy.com and take the Entrepreneurship with Purpose course. Entrepreneurship with Purpose. And I will make sure that it is up. And in that course, what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how to identify your natural gifts and your natural skills. So Birth Your Book is up. Entrepreneurship with Purpose is not up. So we're going to get that up. And with this, what you have to understand, the difference between gift and purpose. So let's say Jay-Z and Beyonce. I'm using them as an example because they big figures, polarizing figures. So Jay-Z and Beyonce, they are gifted at what they do. They're gifted. Gift means not everybody can do the same thing that you can do. That's what that means. But are they purposeful? Purposeful means you are making someone else's life better. You're helping someone else. You're serving someone else. You're leading someone to Christ. When you look at Beyonce and Jay-Z, do they lead anyone to Christ? Does their music help anyone? Does it educate you, enlighten you, make you a better person? It may entertain you, but what else does it do? And so that's what you want to think about. That is what you want to think about. And as you realize that, now you know, now you get to see like, oh, okay. So this right here, I'm gifted at it, but am I being purposeful? And so as you start to understand that, then that's where you're able. So I just made Entrepreneurship with Purpose. It's only $97. But the thing about it is that blueprint in that course, it was actually stolen by a gentleman named Patrick Flynn, who has the largest podcast entrepreneurship podcast in the world called Entrepreneur on Fire. That's how good that information in that course is. That the number one entrepreneur podcast in the world stole my formula verbatim, didn't even credit me. He probably deleted now because one of y'all probably went and looked him up. Patrick Flynn, Tony Gaston said you stole his material from his entrepreneurship with purpose. He might have deleted by now. He may still have it, but because I heard him say it out his mouth. That's how I know he stole it. I never took his course or anything like that. I heard him say it right out his mouth on like the sales video or whatever for his course, and that's because we both were on the same site called Udemy, and my course was $9.99 because they would release it for that, and so that's how he heard it. So in that course, that's how I built my 7-figure brand, which really probably worth 8 figures, or at least 8 figures. And so for $97, I'm giving you that gain. So stop making excuses. Go on, get on in there and go on, make it happen. Get on in there, take that course, sit down, do the work, go through the process, and then start to build from there. My mama sending me these shoes because Cherie gave away a lot of shoes to her and got all these shoes. And my mama just looked up and seen these shoes, $220. It's like, yeah. And be making money. I'm finna get my Poshmark booming, y'all. So hey, when y'all see the link on Poshmark, I'm gonna start selling my wife old stuff, them shoes and stuff like that right there. Them shoes, all that, clothes. Cause that stuff be so good. She be giving away the Goodwill. I'm like, the Goodwill ain't doing nothing but selling. I can sell this as a fundraiser for the nonprofit. Finna do a fundraiser. I might have her do a closet clean out and come up here to the office and do a TikTok live and just list all the products, do a TikTok live as a fundraiser instead of taking the stuff to the Goodwill for the worker to just steal it and go wear it. They'll be selling it. So that's what we're gonna do. Y'all keep that in mind. My mama, y'all forgive me. So there you go for that one right there now. And we're gonna go through one more. Gonna go through one more. Well, this one is a full one. This one a full one, and she sent a picture. So this one that'll be probably a full one. That might need a little more. Well, I guess we could do it in here and we'll see. Might give us a little extra content. Oh yeah, okay. Okay, let me see here. All righty. Hi, Tony. I thank God for his work through you and how he uses you to impact the lives of so many. I wish that I could put into words the respect I have for you. I hope it doesn't come across as weird, but you are pretty much the only person on YouTube I watch, keeping up with every single new video, but rewatching and circling back to older videos when waiting for new uploads. You're the single reason why I pay for YouTube Premium. LOL. Y'all get to YouTube Premium now. You don't want to see the advertisements. Anyways, I've watched you for years, and although there were times I didn't always apply what you had said, I found myself in a good spot after finally getting remarried almost 2 years ago. I continued to listen mainly to keep myself fresh on the game, but also because I feel like I have to be very conscious of how I operate in relationships as I am trying to break the generational curse in my family of being with toxic men. I wanted to see if you could share your insight on my situation, but also thought that my story may have pieces that could help other women learn from my faults before having to undergo some of the pain and trauma I've experienced. At this point in my relationship, I am at a crossroads. I have a lot at stake. She put a lot in all caps. I have a lot at stake. I have two little girls, 4 and 16 months. I was a single mom with my firstborn. Her biological father terminated his parental rights when she was just 4 months old. And my youngest daughter, I share with my current husband. I moved to his city, about 45 minutes from my hometown, where I don't know anyone after we married and we purchased a home. My story is like most women's. He was perfect in the beginning. He knew I was a 100% single mom and how bad I wanted my daughter to have a father figure in her life. My dream was to always have a family and be a wife and mother. He would invite me over and cook for me, plan out dates, initiate hour-long phone calls, ask about my daughter and how her day was, etc. He seemed extremely invested in me. You may think I'm twisting the truth a bit. However, there wasn't a single, she put that in all caps, a single red flag in the beginning. He never raised his voice. He was an extreme gentleman. No cussing, no fighting, nothing. However, things started to change shortly after we got married. Real life set in and things started to feel unmanageable for me. He is a police officer and works 12s and switches every other week from nights to days. I felt alone in my new city, away from all my support and my village. I was already struggling financially when I met him. And after we bought our house, things only got worse for me as it was a given that I would be contributing 50-50 to the mortgage and household bills. I have a pretty good career and make decent money for my age, I believe, but it's still not enough to get by. I found myself over time starting to resent the fact that I was now providing for a house of 6. He has 2 children from his previous marriage who we have every other week. He also has a good amount of debt, so I find it hard to ask him for help when he doesn't have it to give me. Things started to get very rocky towards the end of my pregnancy. In addition to working my full-time job and taking care of my toddler at home, as I removed her from daycare once I moved, I also started door dashing. I was literally in the car for hours at a time at all hours of the day, just trying to make extra money, all the way up until 39 weeks pregnant. I started to resent the fact that he would watch me struggle and just let me. Tensions built after I gave birth to our daughter. We both took 3 months of leave from our jobs to bond with her and adjust. However, he used that time more as a vacation than helping me or with our daughter. I would be up every 2 hours in the night, pumping to feed our daughter breast milk, feeding her, changing her, getting her back to sleep, etc., and he would sleep through it all. He watched me struggle with postpartum and was of no support. I would find POR on his phone and bring it up to him, and he would blow up and storm out, leaving me with the children. The man I met in the beginning no longer existed. He would cuss, scream, punch holes in the cabinets and doors, fly off in his truck, and stay gone for hours. I felt so lost. He always claimed to be a Christian. We would regularly attend church together, and he just recently got back from a week-long church camp serving the youth. His Bible is flooded with notes and underlines and highlighting, so I know he knows God. But does he know God? All caps. She put no in all caps. I feel like his job as a police officer has really messed him up mentally. It has made him hardened to life and just plain mean and cold. Going back to the beginning, a huge reason I fell in love with him was because he seemed to truly love my daughter. We had talked about him adopting her and had already started the process of changing her last name. However, now he is terrible to her as well. Although there are times when I can see and understand his frustrations, as she does, as she does have some behavioral problems, his parenting style is extremely harsh and reminds me a lot of how my stepfather treated me growing up. I find myself taking up for her and defending her all the time. I try to be the middleman between them, which only makes things worse for me because he gets mad at me for making excuses for her. And he says, Tony, I'm just so lost, as he says. Tony, I'm just so lost, and I'm sorry this letter is all over the place. I just feel like I've completely lost myself to this man. I wasted all of my 20s with mistakes and relationships, starting over so many times. I feel in my gut that I should probably leave. However, I have to consider another divorce, another move, now 2 children that will not have a family unit, my oldest daughter losing the only dad she's ever known. I don't want my children suffering the consequences of my mistakes. Our fights now consist mostly of me speaking up about the lack of help I receive around the house and with the kids and finances. I feel as though I contribute more than anyone ever would be able to. I pay half the mortgage, the internet, 85% of the groceries, all in caps of the medical bills for myself and my girls, my car payment, my insurance, my cell phone, all in caps of the girls' clothes, shoes, etc. And all of my debt prior to meeting him. I will sometimes use some of my money to help him when things get tight on his end, buying him a phone card, buying him a lunch or dinner, etc. I pack him lunches and dinners for every shift he works. I do 95% of the cooking. I do all the laundry. I do all the cleaning, dishes, etc. I have completely let myself go because now all my time, energy, and money go to the household. I used to be so pretty. I feel as though this relationship has aged me so much. I am only 33 years old. Wow. Yeah, hey, y'all got to forgive me over here. I'm over here. I'm over here keep trying to keep my mouth together. Like, well, all this talking now. Another huge issue is his lack of emotional maturity. He is quick to anger and will throw a fit or give me the silent treatment if he feels like I am causing issues. This means I'm trying to communicate my feelings with him or express an area I feel we need to work on. Basically, anytime I speak up about something I'm not happy about, he shuts down completely and tells me that all I do is complain or that I'm ungrateful. I can communicate until I'm blue in the face, but it all goes in one ear and out the other with him. And he will respond with something like, if you're not happy, then just leave or do whatever you want to do. Or I'll just take care of myself since I'm such a burden to you. As I mentioned previously, I'm at a crossroads. I don't know if I should stay and continue to pray for God to change his heart or if I should leave. At this point in my life, I am so worn down and exhausted. I see women who have soft lives and can't even imagine what it might be like to not have to juggle managing a million different things all day, every day. I feel worn down mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. As a side note, I am also responsible for taking care of his other two children from his previous marriage that I mentioned earlier, whenever he is working. For a while, a huge issue in our marriage was the fact that I was taking them to school at 6 a.m. and having to wake up my newborn and toddler so early, which set the tone for their day and made them cranky and exhausted. I pushed back on doing this for a while, and he would always tell me that it was my responsibility to step up. I told him that I wasn't even in the picture when that custody agreement was created, yet I was the one who had to now maintain it. There are plenty of other situations like this where I just feel completely taken advantage of. I feel like he has used me to get along in life. I make his life easy and comfortable at my expense. Loving him is killing me. I am just so beat down. The focus is always on him and his career as a police officer. He uses the excuse that he's tired and can't contribute to be present in the household because of his job. He has told me verbatim many times that on the days he works, he will not do anything around the house so I can just get over it. He will help me on his off day, on his days off. Wow. I wonder what life would be like if I were to use that same approach. I work the same 40-hour weeks that he does, but yet I don't make any excuses. I get my girls up, get them fed and ready, take them to preschool, 4 hours, and manage to work an 8-hour day, give baths, make dinner, grocery shop, laundry, dishes, etc. One person can only do so much. I want to make sure I'm not being selfish by feeling like I should be getting more out of this marriage. My life has only gotten exponentially harder since marrying him, and the future just doesn't look bright to me. My birthday is actually tomorrow, and he told me that he doesn't have any money. I can confirm this by looking at his account. However, it saddens me that my birthday is on the same day every year, and yet it wasn't even important to him. I am not materialistic and don't require a gift. However, some token of appreciation or acknowledgement would be nice. My 4-year-old loves celebrations and has been talking about my birthday for weeks now. He told her I wouldn't have a cake or party because he didn't have money. I mentioned to my family that I was going to buy myself a birthday cake just so my daughter could enjoy the celebration, and they decided to step up and take my daughter to get me a card and a cake. How sad is that? I am 100% faithful, married woman, but my father is having to take on what my husband should be doing. Please help, Tony. Your advice is the only advice I trust because I know you are directed by God. Thank you for everything you do. Also, I included a picture of us so you could maybe provide insight on our looks compatibility. That took what, 14 minutes to read? Hey, this gonna have to be an hour and a half video today. And hopefully I can title this thing right. So she see. But guess what? This right here is the type of situation where I told y'all in the Blessed Tribe that I want us to help with. I want us to help with stuff like this. Now, this Joker here, this old sorry Joker. I'm trying to see. Okay. It's so sorry. No good. Bum. Boy, you sorry, boy. Got that woman working like a slave, and they white. They is white. Uh-huh. I want to shout that for you. For all y'all want you a white king. And she white. So she supposed to be receiving privilege. She supposed to be getting privilege. Because he don't have to look at her like no slave. This his own kind that he treating like trash. And when I tell you, and she way pretty, ma'am, you way prettier than him. You is, so this guy on the look scale, just from my matchmaking, this guy will be about a 3. Someone might give him a 4. Now, this lady said she used to be so pretty. She's still pretty. In this here picture, she pretty. And for a white woman, I think the white guys will give about a 7 or 8. And that's right here now. I could tell when she was younger and fresh and vibrant and all of that, she could have had some days as a 10. This guy, I don't think he's seen a day over 4 on the look scale. I mean, he got a set of ears on him. He looked like 5 minutes in the sun, he gonna be red and melting. Oh my goodness, ma'am, I feel terrible. I feel, first it's like I want to address your situation, but I just feel terrible because man, I feel bad. Sheesh. I want to send this to my wife just so she could realize and understand. I'm like, is that abuse? Am I abusive for sending this to my? I just want her to just read somebody else's story and just see, because my wife don't have to cook or clean or work. And we got 2 grown kids now, 10 and 17. And so, and I'm up here working. It's almost 6 p.m. I be busting my butt. And then when I see a woman doing all of this right here, I'm like, oh, I might be getting the short end of the stick. I don't know, man. This crazy. All this right here. And you work 40 hours a week. And then I remember when our son came home, and that getting up every 2 hours, it was every hour and a half. And I remember, I don't know how much I did it, but I remember I was losing it. I was losing my mind. Because I had to work 40 hours a week. My wife, she wasn't working at that time. And boy, and I'm not good with a little bit of sleep. But I was 23 years old. This man, old in Methuselah. So, of course, I mean, look like in his 30s or whatever. He looked in his 40s, but she 33, so I'd imagine he might be somewhere in the vicinity. I feel terrible, but here's the thing, man. It's like you could do bad by yourself. It's like if you got to do all that for your kids, I'm wondering what he good for. So what I would do, honestly, this letter that you sent me, I would send this email to the police chief. That's what I would do. Because they have a certain standard that they supposed to uphold of integrity. And although we know that don't mean anything, but I would send it to the police chief and I would say, can you please keep this anonymous? But just maybe you all can have some type of, like, if you have a mental health program, that these individuals could work with life coaches and it be covered by the city or the state. If more days off or something could be prioritized, if you could have a talk because you're going to have some good police in there that's like real men of God. I also would, and I would sit down before you send it to a police chief. I would sit down with him and I would have a come to Jesus meeting. And I don't know how you talking and how you saying stuff, but you have to figure out his personality. Like, obviously yelling and screaming is not going to do it. Maybe a letter. Because see, when you talking, he gets to shut down and storm off. Give him a letter that he has to read. You could put it in his lunchbox. He get mad as he want to get. Okay, deal with it. And in that letter, what I would say is, hi, such and such, not babe, not honey, whatever his name is. Hi, Billy. I need you to read every word of this letter at least 3 times. You can write down what I'm saying now. Pause the video and write down what I'm saying. I am at my breaking point, and I don't think I can remain in this marriage more than another 3 months. If we cannot come to an understanding and start marital counseling or reading marital books and doing daily work on ourselves, I will be filing for divorce. I know you may think I am bluffing. I know you may not even care. But this is where I'm at, and this is my truth. I want to write you first to see if we can work on this and talk about this as adults. But if I have to remain in this marriage because I can't move or I can't leave or afford to go anywhere, then I will be letting Pastor John Doe and Chief John Doe know about what I'm going through in our marriage due to your stress at work. And maybe one of those men can help us or mentor you and help us work through this. I'm hoping that you can receive this humbly, soberly, calmly, and that we can talk about it. I assure you that at this juncture, you screaming, yelling, and storming off is not going to be accepted. I will go live with my father or parents, and I will start over, and I will heal and grow and work on me. At this current moment, I feel that you are using me, because what did you do before you had me? If you can't afford our life now, even with my income, how did you live before me? That picture is clear that I am getting the short end of the stick, and I am being used and taken advantage of. I know in this very moment you are angry, But I ask you to please soberly finish this letter, and before calling me or coming home, talk to God and talk to yourself. And then when we talk, please know that it absolutely has to be amicable. I have already made my father aware of this letter and of when we will talk. Because you carry a gun, I have to be safe, because at times your mental stability worries me, and the actions and the way that you yell and storm out scares me. I hope we can come to terms, start over, create a plan that is a win-win for us both, and move forward in love, because I love you, I care for you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, but I cannot do so under these circumstances. Love you, such, whatever your name is. So listen, that's what you're gonna have to send him. And boy, look here, boy. I could tell based on his skin color, he fit be red as a tomato. When I tell you now, and listen, now I'm making a little joke, but I see the gun on his hip because y'all took the picture with his police uniform on. Ma'am, you could lose your life. I want you to be very clear of that. You can lose your life. Don't ever play with a man who got a gun. I don't care how soft and sweet, and I don't care if it look like he won't bust a grape, he will. I could tell he has a crazy side. This man could be a serial killer. He looked like a serial killer. And he got that porn on his phone, and he mean and nasty to your daughter, and she 4 years old, and he white. But I could tell you right this man is a police officer because he used to get bullied to no end, and he could have had abusive parents as well. But seeing the size of his ears, and seeing that he don't have a full hairline, and seeing how skinny he is in his grown man body, this man, he looked like a Mickey Mouse lollipop growing up. The little white lollipop stick with the Mickey Mouse ears. He looked like a Mickey Mouse lollipop growing up. And when I tell you, he got so much surface on them ears that them ears used to get thumped the mess out of in that classroom. He used to get thumped in them ears, thumped in that head. He looked like he could have played a little bit of sports, but he looked like he was scrawny, real scrawny, just getting ran over, getting knocked over. This man had been bullied. And he has never, see, you came into this slightly desperate. And having a young daughter, wanting her to have a father figure, and having gone through all that you went through, you was wide-eyed, bushy tail, and desperate, because he has never had a woman that looked like you. I don't care what you think his ex looked like, she don't look like you. He ain't never had no woman on your level. And that's why he was amazing. That's why he was the perfect guy. But he knew that when he married you, he had you up a creek without a paddle. And I'm going to tell you, I did this to my wife when we got married. When we got married, I thought I could revert back and go back to the street selling drugs, go back to doing me, living how I want to live, doing what I want to do. And she left me. She left and she went to her uncle's house for 3 days. And that's what you're going to have to do. Get your daughters. If he get irate and he go to acting crazy after you write him this letter, and the reason why I say don't say this in person, because it's going to go in one of them big old ears and out the other big ear. You got to write it so he can read it over and over and over. That's intentional. I'm not saying that just to be saying that. Write a letter. Make a copy of the letter. Give a copy of the letter to your dad. Also, what you need to do is you need to find out what life insurance pays out right away. Like real life insurance. You might have to reach out to him. I might have to put you with my guy because you need to get life insurance. I would say get life insurance before you even give him this letter. Because in the event that you lose your life, you want your father to be the beneficiary of like at least $500,000 to $1 million policy, so he could take care of your kids. And because you could very well lose your life in this, and it's out there where you can get life insurance and get signed up, even the ones with no exam, and then it's ones that with an exam, of course. But and yes, it's gonna cost something, but you just need to get it. Just whatever else you got to cut out to pay that $20 to $100 a month, depending on how much of a policy you get. And don't make your husband a beneficiary, because the way he acting, he'll push you, he'll drown you and act like you fell off the boat, or he'll push you off a cliff. Now, me personally, and the reason why I'm not just saying leave, because honestly, he's a police officer. Like, I couldn't become a police officer because one, I wanted to, but one of the questions is, have you ever sold drugs? So I couldn't pass the lie detector test. So you have to live a pretty squeaky clean life to become a police officer. So he's not a bad guy. It's just that he feeling himself because he's suffering from the ugly duckling syndrome. And he is suffering with he worked 12 hours and he flipped from night to days. That messes with your mental health. So when he worked the graveyard shift, it messing his head up. And if he's not eating perfect and sleeping perfect and working out perfect, his mental health is declining. And the stuff that he's dealing with on the job, that's inducing a lot of stress because he's not built like that. He is very soft. He's a soft, sensitive, bullied kid. So he's not really supposed to be a police officer. He's really supposed to be like a computer engineer or something like that. He's supposed to be at a desk in the air condition, working on a computer, doing something. Even if it's just answering emails, he is not supposed to be a police officer in the least. He's not built like that. So he's losing his mind. And you also got to tell him that you see his mental is declining. And Blessed Tribe, we're gonna raise us some money. We're gonna raise us some money, and write me back on here, sister, and send me your mailing address. We're sending you a big old bouquet of flowers, and you just and let them know it's from your online community, the Blessed Tribe, and give your daddy my email so that he could reach out to me in case anything goes south, so your daddy could reach out to me. Because honestly, I'm only worried, like a lot of men act like this. Like the way he acting, this is normal. Unfortunately, this is normal for a lot of grown boys. But the fact that he has a gun and he wears a gun and that he be storming off in his truck and he be gone for hours. Another thing I would say, you 50-50, but you don't need to be 50-50. You don't need to be 50-50. So don't give him no money. And don't stop cooking his food. Stop doing lunches. You got to pull back everything. Don't do nothing for him. Take care of your kids. He's a grown man. And you let him know, like, listen, I'm not doing anything else because I'm not getting what I need from this. And we're not, so if he don't come to terms after that letter, stop everything. Stop the presses. No, nothing. No, until he willing to sit down and have some counseling. And you need to have them talk to me, and we'll have the foundation, cover the cost for you. And because I get his butt straight, I let him know. I need to look him in his eyes on Zoom and let him know you're sorry, you're terrible. One-on-one, man to man. I ain't gonna emasculate him by saying it in front of you. I let them know straight up, you're terrible. You're absolutely trash. And you need to get your life together, boy. I ain't gonna call him a boy, but you get what I'm saying. So you got to understand that you're gonna have to step up and stand up for yourself. You're gonna have to stand up for yourself and speak truth to power. So understand that, write that letter and take it one step at a time. I wrote you back to let you know that it's getting answered this week. So you'll see that it's going. I feel terrible for you. And see, the thing about it is, like, for a man like me, this how we be feeling like. We be feeling like, man, I wish I could just take care of this woman and not even on no sexual way or no other wife. But I want to create something that women like this who is breaking their neck could just go somewhere go to a resort for a week that has the daycare there, like the one we go to, Palace Resorts, have the daycare there where you could wake up and go drop the kids off at the daycare and you just go back to the pool and just sunbathe and all inclusive. So we're gonna start to do that. And this sorry joker, he don't deserve to go. So when we set this up for you, when we start our mommy vacations like that, y'all can't take these sorry men. We booking the flight for you and your children. And to be honest with you, I'd rather the children go and be at the daycare, at the play place. Yes, you still got to be a mom, then unless you want to leave them with your dad. Now, if your dad say, hey, you got a 3-night all-inclusive paid vacation to Cancun, I'll keep the girls. If that's the case, your mom or dad or whoever, then yeah, but you can't leave them with no clown like this. You cannot leave. And I'm going to tell you, I could look at this man right here. You cannot trust him with your 4-year-old. And you really need to have her, you need to be talking to her, have her some therapy. Because he'll touch her. He will touch her. In it, you can never trust a man, especially a man who watch porn, around your daughter that's not his blood. She will get touched. And you'll never know it. Because he'll be telling her he just helping her clean. He helping her wipe. And he'll be molesting her. I could look at him and tell that. I guarantee you that. He's sick. He's a little pervert. And he nasty. And so, listen, ladies, listen. I don't have the capacity, but you see this here inbox? If you dating a man right now, right into the inbox. That's what these is for. This is free. Inbox at Tony Gaston and send me y'all picture and tell me all about y'all relationship, any possible red flags and everything that's going on. And I'm going to answer it on one of these videos. So that way the whole world could benefit from it instead of just you, and you anonymous. But I'm going to read the man out loud to you. This man right here. And see, the thing is, he'll take somebody's life because of his own sickness and pain from being bullied and beat up on growing up. And so now the way he acting, he honestly just resting. He resting from a life of having the short end of the stick his whole life. He resting. But hey, God bless you. Shout out Patreon, Blessed Tribe. And the donors, the Tony Gaston Family Foundation. We rolling out these programs. And we just created us another one. We finna help women like this who going through, because I know some people say, well, oh, that's her fault. She should have known. She should have seen it. But just like she said, he didn't show a single red flag. He finessed her. That's how, and that happened every day. This happens every day. This how men do. We do this all the time. Women do it too. Women will finesse a man, be cooking, be cleaning, be all everything. Get that ring, cut off all the sets, cut off it go both ways. It happens both ways. But see, I'm gonna tell you one thing that my wife do is that you need to do, sister. She don't want anybody in her house, so she don't want a chef, she don't want a house cleaner. But if I'm working and I'm tied up and I don't have the energy, she don't ask me to cook or clean. She don't want me to cook or clean because I don't do it the way she want me to do it. But so what she would do is she would just leave it dirty. She will leave the house. She will leave the clothes, leave stuff where it's at until she get the capacity. Until she get the capacity to get to it, or she get the time to get to it, she'll leave stuff where it's at, and we'll function. You got to realize we used to be cavemen. Like, you don't have to be cooking and cleaning every day. You ain't got to be doing that. And with the cooking and all that, be creative. Spaghetti, boom, it lasts 2-3 days. Like, don't feel like you got to be doing all this right here. Like laundry, yeah. But even laundry, sometimes laundry get backed up. It's like, wash the bare minimums, what's absolutely needed, and all the excess, all that extra. No, and don't be bending over backwards serving him like no slave if he not loving you the way Christ loved the church. That ain't how that go. He got to love you the way Christ loved the church, as well as you submitting unto your husband. And he got to be a man under God. He got to be a man that God would select and choose for you, and he's not being that. So he don't deserve all that husband treatment, and you got to rein that in. And that's the downside of white women. It's some black women that might be like this. I can't tell you I done met one. I can't tell you one. But this how y'all be, white women. So every white woman on here, y'all listen to me. Y'all got to stop being do-girls. Stop being house slaves. Stop doing all that extra. Listen, I'm telling you, my wife, she do what she want to do, when she want to do it, how she want to do it. She don't do nothing. She ain't got the energy for it. She don't do nothing. And I don't trip about it because she's a human being. So it's like, if she tired, like I could have been snoring last night. So if she ain't sleep good, I'm not finna be like, hey, baby, you got to cook dinner. I call her today. I say, baby, what you want for dinner? I'm going to buy dinner. Y'all financial situation is different, so you got to cook dinner. But listen, when me and my wife was living in an apartment and she had a roommate and I used to stay over there all the time, they used to get in the kitchen and fry ramen noodles. They would treat the pan like a wok, put the olive oil in there, and they'll take the noodles, heat it up in the thing, in the microwave, in the water for 3 minutes, then throw it in the pan and start to wok them. Put that soy sauce on them and just make them special. Like, hey, do that. Don't be in there. Oh, you complain. Oh, well, you would complain. You got to realize he got a duty to uphold. He not trying to end his life now. He ain't that crazy, because you'd have been said, oh, he been choking me, he been slapping me, he been punching. He ain't that crazy now. He could get there. So you got to speak truth to power. Don't be talking to him like he's some kind of king. It's like, hey, no, I'm not cooking tonight. And if you're hungry, you can get in there and cook. Just like that. You got to, men respect women who gonna look us in our face and tell us about ourselves without yelling, cussing, screaming, yelling, crying, and all that extra. Just direct. You can get in there and cook. We respect real. We don't respect soft. We don't respect scared. We don't respect all that. We respect real. You got to be real. Whether that's in silence or with words, you got to be real. But hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. All the important links in the description box. God bless you. We'll talk soon.